Hello and welcome to podcasting. In this course, you will learn how to record, podcast, and boost your business exposure from today. The meaning of podcast is still unknown to many, but you have probably heard of podcasting before and may be wondering what exactly is it. In this course, you will be guided step by step on how to enjoy it and also take advantage of it for your personal or business purposes. In simple definition, podcasting is a method of publishing and circulating audio content via the internet. The unique feature of podcasting is its subscription model through aggregation or syndication methods, which allow convenient digital method of distributing updated audio information. Subsequently, this will allow users to access archives in their area of interest anytime and listen to the audio at their own leisure. People can download a podcast and listen to them on their music players, computers or iPods whenever and wherever that's convenient. This means that they can access their podcast even as they are commuting on buses, cars or trains. Podcasting is one of the hottest technology and buzzwords today among people. An internet publisher and radio programmer pioneered it in June 2003. The programmer used RSS methods to compile audio files into a program and made it available as MP3 downloads. By fall of 2003, the buzz spread rapidly through blogs and universities. By 2004, the expression of podcasting was put side by side with the terms iPod and broadcasting. The word stuck. A small group of early podcasters emerged from the blogging community and the podcasting revolution began. Since then, hundreds of thousands of podcasters have popped up on the internet. Within a year, the phenomenon of podcasting fled across the borders at warp speed. People from small medium enterprises to media companies to Apple itself try to get on a bandwagon. In 2004, Google had less than 25 searches for terms related to podcasting. By September 2005, Google produced more than 60 million searches. The podcasting concept is certainly a new digital approach and has changed the way information is being communicated. It has given subscribers many privileges and options in the way they want their information to be presented to them. They become in control of the situation as opposed to listening to the radio. Podcasting allows the user to sort of listen to a radio channel, but they are given the privilege to select the exact type of content that they wish to download and listen to. They can keep feeds and also remove them according to their demands and likings. They are also given the privilege to access their audio archives anytime, anywhere and as often as they wish. Subscribers can listen to the podcast directly from the internet as it is being streamed and downloaded while they are online, or alternatively they can save the audio file and listen to it offline. Once the content is saved in the hard disk of the user, he or she can listen to it from any media playback devices. This means that a podcast can be heard without having to be connected to the internet once downloaded to a playback device. Podcasting is gradually gaining popularity among marketers and businessmen. It is becoming a preferred mode of communication and interaction as it is low cost, time friendly, and creates a higher level of intimacy between the customer and product comparatively to plain written contacts. Podcasting is an amazing innovation that you can put to good use for your business as it is growing to be a proficient method of promotion of products for companies and businesses. Podcasting for business could be used for advertising, passing on information, training employees, or even for bonus customer services that you want to offer. Podcasting also allows global and lifetime distribution where you can reach enormous scale of audience for a lifetime. This means that you only need to submit your podcast once and it will be distributed globally and circulated around the World Wide Web at all times. To add on, the technology required to produce a podcast is simple and extremely minimal. There's no special licensing or training required. Little to no financial investment as there's on one-off costs are your recording devices which are cheaply available. No complex hardware or software necessary. And most software to make or listen to podcasts are free to begin with. Podcasting is also personal and gives you the opportunity to develop true one-on-one relationships with your prospects and customers. It allows you to project an image for your clients to get an idea about the face, voice, and life of a product. This way, your business can engage and interact with your clients more effectively in a timely manner where a greater level of trust can be established. Podcasting can also be used to create anticipation for future events. Your podcast can be distributed on a sequential process. People are offering numerous opinions on sequential content such as box sets and TV series. You can see the potential here is huge. Your podcast can be delivered creatively in this manner too. Messages that are creative can be reached hundreds of people within hours because they become popular so fast. This popularity is what is called a viral impact, and it can be archived or achieved with podcast series. Podcast has also the benefits of building credibility as the expert in your niche. This can be achieved by giving tips, tutorials, and advices. This method is far more impactful than traditional media such as written content, because by delivering your content through your voice engages the users more powerfully. As a result, a greater level of trust and confidence between your listeners can be achieved. All in all, podcasting is an extremely powerful way for immediate call to action, as you have the chance to generate a compelling message and create impact through your voice. You can inspire your listeners and send them wherever you want them to go. This way, you drive massive traffic to your website and build a large customer base. When you're planning your own podcast, there are two main objectives: to make direct revenue and send listeners to your website for traffic or list building purposes. You or anyone can make money with podcasts. You might be wondering, why would people pay for podcasts when radio is free? The answer is simply because the content is delivered differently through podcasts and radio. Furthermore, we've also discussed earlier that subscribers of podcasts have more control of the situation, where they can choose exactly what they want to listen to and when they want to listen to them. What you must understand is that information is king, and people will always pay for what they perceive to have value. In other words, they will pay for information that they find useful to them. Podcasts can easily be something you utilize to make money directly through subscriptions and sales. You can be selling a podcast as a one-off product itself, or as a sequential product where you bill your customers sequentially. A few examples of direct revenue ideas are lectures and courses, business information of time value, limited access information, self-guided tours. Podcasts are a great way to deliver lectures and courses. People are willing to spend on education, but some people may not be able to afford actual seminars, live courses, or books even. Podcast courses are a great substitute, as the cost of production is much cheaper to begin with. Your target is to hit the masses and sell in quantity. People may well be able to afford a weekly or monthly podcast subscription program full of valuable tips, advice, and tutorials. You may package your lectures and courses together with an action guide, which you walk your listeners through. This way, they'll be able to follow through the course more effectively as they experience the cost of learning. Any kind of business information that has time value is priceless. Most people are willing to pay a lot of money for timely information that can help them generate more income. Some examples of this kind of information are news on investments, trading, and stocks. Even business information as such, sports betting, how to make money online, can be included into this. So long so, the information that you can provide can help them grow their fortunes and create more wealth. Limited access information is the information that has exclusivity value, which can generate subscriber or one-time purchase interest. Some examples of this kind of information include special access to celebrities or interviews with experts. So think about whether you have a connection with experts or your niche. If you do, take the time to create rapport with them to form a strategic alliance for an expert interview. This content can then be repurposed to be sold or distributed for list building. Finally, there are plenty of commercial applications for self-guided tours. Self-guided tours can be created from museums, tourist attractions, and other places. This can be a nice souvenir for keeps. It can even be applied online, where you walk the user through a new software, course, or application. It can produce self-guided tours for the purpose of selling the content, or it can be created as a bonus giveaway as a form of customer service. Next, we will discuss about some traffic generation ideas using podcasts. Aside from monetizing from podcasts, podcasting is also a great way to generate traffic and build your list. It's definitely an alternative way to writing articles and blog posts. While writing may take up to an hour to post just one article, podcasting will only take a couple of minutes. This is simply because speaking is easier than writing. Writer's block is a common analogy, but there's hardly anything called a speaker's block. Recording content is far easier, faster, and better. So if you always hate writing, you've just hit a jackpot, as podcasting is a perfect substitute to writing. Your podcast for traffic generation need not be long. Keep in mind that most people have a short attention span. Avoid rambling away in your own thoughts, but instead keep your audience in mind. Your podcast should be kept between 5 to 30 minutes. A few examples of the type of traffic generation content you may produce include tips, testimonials, quick training tutorials, news and trends, commentaries, and reviews. Basically, to start podcasting, you need to record a material you want, turn it into a podcast format, and put it up online for people to subscribe to, and that's it. The model is simple. Step 1 is to set up your devices and conduct a sound test. Step 2 is to record and export your audio to MP3 format. Step 3 is to add RSS feed to your podcasts. Step 4 is to upload and submit your podcast to podcasting sites. Before you start recording your podcast, you need to choose your podcast model. What you need to figure out is what the basic structure of your podcast will be like and the kind of content you're going to have. Decide if it's going to be one or more of the following: lectures and courses, business information of time value, limited access information, self-guided tours, tips, testimonials, quick training tutorials, news and trends, commentaries, and reviews. Once you've got that ironed out, your podcast recording will be a breeze. If it's your very first time recording, what you might want to consider is also writing a transcript. This way your content will be delivered in a more coherent manner, and you'll be able to record your content with minimal stutters, pauses, or rambling. There are only 3 podcasting tools which you'll need: your own voice, a good quality microphone, and a software editor such as Audacity, which you can easily download for free at audacity.sourceforge.net. One of the very important aspects of podcasting is where exactly you're doing your recordings. You need to find a nice, quiet place which is of minimal distractions and free of noise. It is also advisable to use a microphone that is of good quality, one that records directional voices. This will ensure clarity in the recording and avoid any background noises from being captured. In case you can't find an absolutely noise-free environment, may use software to reduce background noises. Noise removal features are normally available in most audio editor software. As you record, be mindful as not to stray and ramble away in your thoughts. Always keep your audience in mind and never ignore them. Beforehand, you may prepare the structure and flow of your content to ensure that your podcast flows smoothly throughout the entire recording process. Lastly, relax and make your recording fun and lively. You may consider adding some sound effects or use tunes for your welcome and closure. This way you'll keep your audience engaged and they will easily recognize you for your intro and ending theme. Remember that podcasting should be fun and it should be personalized with a refreshing and unique expression. Now that you've got the podcasting tips in mind, it's time to execute your podcast recording. Firstly, what you should do is to get your equipment set up. All you need to do is sit in front of your computer and position your microphone within 1 arm's length. Next, before you go into your actual recording, it is advisable to do a few sound test runs to check if all the levels are set optimally. You may need to make a few level and sound adjustments on your recording software and adjust your microphone distance before you get the best configuration. Thereafter, conduct a sound test by doing a trial record. Subsequently, it's time to record the show. Keep each of your product record as concise as possible. Preferably keep it between 30 minutes unless you're conducting an interview. But just bear in mind that short and simple is the best, and always have call to actions in between your recordings depending on the objective of your podcast to either make direct revenue or send them to your website for traffic and list building purposes. After you have recorded your podcast, edit your audio with a software such as Audacity. You may cut, paste, and rearrange your content if necessary. Add sound effects or any jingles to enhance your audio. Use the noise removal option if you detect any noises in your audio. Lastly, compress and export your audio as MP3 format. After you've created and exported your podcast in the form of an MP3 file, it's time to publish and broadcast it to the web. One of the ways you can do this is by uploading it to your own server via FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. Once you've uploaded the files, announce your podcast via blogging or social networking sites such as Twitter and Facebook. Another way to publicize your podcast is to upload it to a third-party podcast directory listing such as podcasting submission sites. While there are hundreds of podcast sites out there, here are the top podcasting sites you can start with: Podcast Alley, Podcast Bunker, Podcast 411, All Podcasts, Podfeed, Get a Podcast, Feed for All, Primetime Podcasts, and iTunes. Some of these podcast sites offer feed generators that allow you to easily create RSS 2.0 feeds that are needed to publish your podcasts. When creating your feeds, it is essential to optimize them through meta tags as well. Meta tags are labels which helps organize content. So remember to include your feed title and description and include appropriate keywords and related keyword terms for your meta tags. This way, your listeners will be able to locate your podcast more easily. Podcasting has become a revolution in content distribution. It has changed the way users receive content and is one of the most exciting personal and business methods of leveraging the RSS technology. No doubt, podcasts has grown significantly over the years. Today, there are still relatively few people who produce their own podcasts. This is why it is still a good time to get your own show up and running before your competitors catch on the idea. After what you've learned in this course, you can now get started with planning, recording, listening, distributing, and profiting. By using the good podcasting methods you have learned, your next podcasting project will go incredibly well and will assist you in reaching your business goals faster, better, and with less time and effort.